All right. Can you share anything about your map that, when I asked you that question, like what kind of like stuck out to you the most? Out of the question I asked, like what phrase or concept did you write down that kind of sticks with you the most?
Probably say moral stability.
And why would that be?
Well, I'm assuming this is a question about the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the pandemic was really hard. I think I lived in boarding school for 2 years at that time. I was a sophomore, had to go back. We practically didn't leave the house, which was kind of weird to me because I'm always used to leaving the house.
Yeah.
And just being by yourself, it's kind of test your moral strength, try not to do bad things, trying to keep yourself together. I think I stuck it out pretty well. There was like some ups and downs about it, but I think that was just a testament to my moral strength at that point, and I think I did pretty well.
Yeah, and then like kind of going on like through the pandemic, who supported you and like who helped you through the pandemic?
I'd say partially my family. I mean, my family kind of the same situation with them. Like their morality was kind of tested at that point too. I think my friends really helped at that point, even though I didn't see them. I kind of texted them and called them every day, and they kind of made sure I was all right, made sure I was in place, wasn't about to lose my mind.
Yeah.
So.
And did you play sports through the pandemic? Or did you play sports leading up to the pandemic?
Oh yeah, I played sports. I did lacrosse before I quit. I did basketball, swimming, football, cross country.
Well, so
Yeah.
obviously very athletic guys. So once the pandemic hit and all those sports shut down, how did that impact you as an athlete?
As an athlete, I think for all the other sports, it kind of, that kind of set my standards down. Like I didn't have a chance to do any other sport, but lacrosse was the only one that I was like kind of able to continue to do just because I could do it by myself, and I was invested at that point to playing in college, so I just practiced by myself as much as I could.
Yeah, and then obviously in the pandemic, with the social distancing, did you struggle with the requirements like at school? How was school operated for you? Was it online, in person, or?
It wasn't online. We went back the following year. We had to mask up pretty much everywhere. Seeing friends was kind of limited. Couldn't eat in the cafeteria. Some sports didn't have seasons. Some of them were debating if we were gonna have a lacrosse season or not, but then by the end of it, we did. I know the football season got canceled early because a kid got COVID and they couldn't participate in the state finals. So I think most of the sports were pretty affected by it, except for lacrosse. But
yeah. And did you so you never had to do school from home, school online?
Well, sophomore year, the end of it, I did.
Yeah.
For like a little bit.
And how was that? How was going from like in person to strictly online?
I mean, for me, it was kind of easy. For the first part, I guess just academically, like I could take my time on stuff, but not seeing people was kind of the hardest thing.
Yeah. And then obviously, do you have online classes this semester?
No.
No? So it's kind of, it was a really hard switch for you to go from in-person to online back to in-person.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard.
That's good. And then so, honestly, what kind of is a benefit for you that I see is like you really don't have any, the pandemic didn't affect your learning experience at all. You kind of were like organized and you had kind of this laid out plan that you kind of followed through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, so obviously during the pandemic it was locked down, but what did you do most during the pandemic?
Probably say practice.
Yeah.
A lot. Like I think it helped my mental health just to not be in the house.
Yeah.
Be a couch potato for most of the pandemic. I think it was just at some point something clicked that like if I can't do anything official, I might as well just do it by myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I was pretty active during the pandemic.
Yeah, that's good because obviously it's super hard to kind of get out with all these restrictions. Yeah. And then was there a time you ever stepped in to help somebody affected by COVID-19? This could be a family or friends or anything like that.
Well, my family wasn't really impacted by COVID, so I kind of really didn't need to help them. I think one of my friends did catch COVID. Obviously, I couldn't see them because they were isolated, but I'd sent them stuff whenever they needed it.
Yeah.
I kind of went out of my way to give them stuff, and kind of had, I worked a little bit just to get some stuff for them, get some money, help them out. So I'd say I helped a little bit.
No, that's actually unreal because a lot of people kind of back away from the pandemic, kind of like avoid everyone and just kind of like stick to themselves. But obviously, giving out a helping hand is something like a lot of people wish they had. And then another question is, what are some things you learned through your experience during the pandemic? That could be like what you learned about yourself, what you learned about like others.
Yeah.
Obviously, like mental health like is a big factor as well. But
yeah, so I learned a lot about just, I don't know, what drives me, what keeps me together, I guess.
Yeah.
So there was, I think it was after the lockdown, I had a huge incident with my mental health. I got sent to a hospital, and I think at that point I was inpatient for a week or two and then outpatient for about a month. And that was like because I'm a guy that doesn't really like to talk about what's going on in my life, mm-hmm. but I think that kind of forced me to get better, talk about what's going on. And I think that just afraid of being open was one thing that kind of kept me back from like growing and stuff. So that I think that when that happened, I was a lot different mm-hmm. and better. Which I could thank the pandemic for that because lockdown in my house for like, God knows, 3-4 months. But yeah, that's something that happened that helped out.
No, like for sure. Like obviously, like different people like shine like different areas of their life, and like one question that kind of came up to me is now that you came to like college and you kind of have you play on the men's lacrosse team, correct?
Yeah.
Nice. So coming into freshman year, obviously, like kind of being shy, has the team like helped you at all? Like have you like adapted kind of closer to them? Yeah,
the team is really helpful in my opinion. The coaching is a little bit like tough.
Yeah.
Just, I think just for me in general, it takes a minute to gain some sort of like confidence on the field with a new team.
For sure.
But overall, the team is fine. I love the team. I think I just need to work on, how to deal with the coaching a little bit. Yeah,
for sure, which is always a tough part coming in as a freshman as well.
Yeah.
And then kind of looking at like long-lasting consequences of the pandemic. Like, has anything kind of stuck with you, kind of since the pandemic has like been slowing down, or anything along the lines of that?
At this point, not really. But in the beginning, like social skills is a little bit weird, just because you can really see someone's face.
Yeah.
Really, when you were talking to them, so that was kind of a thing I had to get used to. But then when everyone stopped wearing masks, it was like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
And then obviously, seem like a big family guy, but so have your friendships or family relationships changed during the pandemic? Anything like that was like harder to contact somebody or anything like that? Yeah,
I'd say with my family, it got a little bit tense, just because most of us were used to just being out the house, being really busy, but then being in the house for 4 months was like, there was a lot of issues that we didn't know needed to be addressed. And it kind of just brought it out in a grand scale, because I think a year later, my parents divorced, which there was a lot of things that happened that I didn't know was happening until the pandemic. And they started popping up, issues started popping up, and like could sort of see that. I think the weird thing was that my relationship with my friends kind of got better. I would have expected it to like get worse, but I think just everyone at that point was kind of going through the same thing. It's like there's a lot of missing components to our lives, and like I think my friends sort of realized that, so we got closer through that connection.
That's awesome. And then so obviously something like kind of bigger to think about. What do you think your future will look like after kind of going through the pandemic, learning from that, growing from that, kind of adapting new traits and characteristics to kind of shape you to be a better person. So what do you think your future will look like going forward?
A lot more communication and openness, I'd say. I think one thing that made things harder for me was just not communicating with people when things would happen. I kind of just let it go. I wouldn't really talk to them about it. I sort of just like manifested myself and just let it eat me away. So I think just communicating with people, being honest, keeping relationships the way it is, not trying to do too much, not trying to do too little. So, yes.
Yeah, I kind of went a little backwards on these, but
There you go.
so where's home for you right now? Where do you live?
Right now, I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
And where were you born?
I was born in Los Angeles, California.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. And so how long have you been in the Charlotte area for?
What is it, November? Like 3-4 months.
And how's it transitioning going from Atlanta, Georgia to Charlotte?
Honestly, not that different. Charlotte's kind of a big city, and I'm used to the big city. I guess it was sort of like I'm back home sort of thing, because being in Nashville, it's a small city, and Atlanta's just a huge city, and being here, it didn't feel any different from Atlanta, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then kind of going in more towards your hand, what were some of the, do you have any like specific or like kind of important journeys that you wrote down that you would like to share about?
I'm assuming it's the lines, right?
Yeah, those are the ones. Yep.
Yeah, I guess the independent aspect, just because I was condemned for being a very independent person, and I think people didn't realize that like the independent part of me kind of helped me just get through a lot of stuff, just think things through. So I think just being independent was really good for me. I guess, I mean, this is sort of a goal, but like financial success, like it's kind of why I'm taking business right now, financial accounting and microeconomics, just understanding how money works, and being able to help my mom out with her business and stuff, give her some tips and stuff, that'd be ideal for me. And then lacrosse was a big driving factor for me, like it's kind of why I'm in college, it's kind of why I came here, I guess. Lacrosse was a really big part of my high school life, because at first I was going to try to commit for basketball and then try to commit for football, but then lacrosse was the thing that like I kind of stuck with the most. So lacrosse helped with a lot that was going on throughout the pandemic and after the pandemic.
Yeah, no, I think those journeys are like kind of very important to kind of learn from and grow from, and obviously kind of it's not just you that has to. Like, obviously, you can get help from others around you, so kind of getting to that point, who supports you? Like, who did you write on the outside of your hand?
So I wrote my friends, just because they live with me at this point. My family, because they, from both sides, they both support me through what I want to do. They weren't really excited for me to get into lacrosse, because they're very protective, but they obviously stuck through it, and now they're really helping me out with that. Teammates, I think the teammates here are really helpful. They all have this similar goal. They all have the same drive to get better. So, just being connected through that, through wanting to get better through lacrosse and make some records happen through the team, I think that's been a really good thing for me too.
Yeah, for sure. And what should I say? What was it? Oh yeah. So are you the first person in your family to go to school on a scholarship for Division I sports? Or within your family, like your brothers, sisters, mom and dad?
I want to say my mom did, because she
Yeah.
played volleyball somewhere, but I don't know if she got a scholarship or not.
Okay, and then kind of, do you feel obviously like kind of the highest ranking division you can play in college? Does that like make you feel like any different? Does it make you kind of have like a chip on your shoulder to kind of do good for your family and like yourself? Like, how does that make you feel playing Division I lacrosse?
I don't know. It's not really a chip on my shoulder, I'd say.
Yeah.
which, by the way, I'm not even on scholarship. Like,
Okay.
I'm a preferred walk-on.
Yep.
But I think that just being a preferred walk-on was like a little bit of a chip on my shoulder playing Division I, because a lot of kids that are good. I think the biggest thing for me playing Division I was just being competitive and like being, I guess, up to those standards. I wasn't really worried about playing other teams because I played on some club teams that were pretty good, and like I was used to the high level lacrosse thing. But then I think being on an official Division I team is like kind of nerve-wracking. Just like, you know, I feel like I have something to prove because you don't really see a lot of black kids on Division I lacrosse teams. It's like I feel like if I don't do well, there's like nothing happening for what I want to do. Yep. So I feel like just driving me at this point is proving to me and to others that, like, you know, that people like me can do that, can do whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's perfect.
That's
good. All right.
Alrighty.